Hi, everybody. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys some more about creating the life that you want. So, what we're going to talk about today is what are we telling ourselves? What are we telling ourselves? Okay, so what are we telling ourselves? Let's talk a little bit about that. There's so many things that we say to ourselves, and we believe them. We create our entire world with our words. And I really like, my favorite saying is when Yoda says, "Hey, Teresa, do or do not, there is no try." There is no try in this world. The only reason we ever say try is because we're making an excuse or an out for ourselves. We're going to do it. We're not going to try. So let's talk about how we're going to create our life with our words so that we can create the life that we want. So some of the things that I used to say all the time were things like, I'm so tired. Anybody say I'm so tired? I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I'm this, I'm that. And you can actually feel tired without having to be tired. And the more you say you're tired, the more tired you're going to feel. So I like to say instead, or I started saying, what did I say about I'm tired? I think I just stopped saying I'm tired. I have an abundance of energy. I have more energy every day. I accomplish all I set out to do. That's especially with I'm busy. Another thing a lot of us say is I'm so busy. So instead of saying I'm so busy, say I have an abundance of time and I accomplish all I set out to do. You can say things like, I'm at the right place at the right time, engaged in the right activity. And by doing this, what we're doing is we are creating a new vocabulary for ourselves so that we can think differently and make those our automatic ways of thinking. And I just want to tell you guys that your thoughts and your feelings are not real. We feel something and we let that run off with us. And I still do this all the time. I'll feel a certain way and I'll think that's who I am and that's how my whole world is. And I'll run my whole life about the way on this thought or this feeling. And truthfully, if we change our thoughts, we change the way we feel. And they're not real. They're just a story and an automatic programming, an automatic way of thinking, an automatic way of being and behaving. And it's our go-to ingrained neuro patterns that we go to. And instead of allowing it to run off with ourselves, we need to look at it and say, okay, so that is just a thought and a feeling. It's not real. I can create my reality with my words and what I say about things. So stop letting your emotions run away with you, okay? These are, the way we habitually think is the way we habitually behave, and the way we habitually behave creates our habits, and our habits create our life. So we got to start with changing the way we think, changing what we say, changing our habits, and changing our life. So let's go over a couple of things there's a lot of things that we just shouldn't say. Like I should have done this, I should have done that. That's one of them. We want to stop saying I should have. Stop shooting all over yourself. But let's start with I can't do it, or I'm an idiot, or I'm stupid. These are things that I actually tell ourselves, and we're being critical of ourselves. And I'd really like for you guys to start thinking of saying things like, I can figure this out. I can learn how to do anything. I've got this. I can be taught anything. There's nothing don't even say, so I was going to say there's nothing I can't learn, but don't say things with the word nothing or not in it, because your brain can't hear the nothing or the not. So it's saying, like, for example, if you said, I don't smoke, your brain can't hear don't, it just hears I smoke. So you'd want to say, I'm a non-smoker. So if you were wanting to create a new neural pathway, and ultimately this is what this is about, we create these neural pathways in our brain that are well entrenched, worn neural pathways that are big and thick and strong. And these are familiar, and these are the paths that we go down over and over and over again. And what we want to do is close down those neural highways and build new ones. And at first it's difficult. We have to think about it, and it's unfamiliar. And it takes time, and we have to do it over and over again before we get better at it. And then we'll start going down this pathway and this highway, and the highway will get smoother and wider and easier to travel. And then one day we're off a little bit and we'll go back down the old highway, and we realize it's starting to crumble and fall apart. And even though before it was familiar and it took us exactly where we knew it was going to, even if we didn't like where it took us, we knew where it was going to take us, and we would go there with it. But then all of a sudden, now we realize you don't really like where it's taking you anymore. You don't like the way it makes you feel. So you're going to choose to go back to your new neuro pathway, your new neural highway, and it's going to become stronger because you do that. So another thing that we say a lot is I hate this or I hate that. Like, hate's a pretty strong word, and it's okay to, not have something be your favorite without having to hate it. So that would be a word I would want to strike from my vocabulary. So let's see what else. Things like hopefully, always, and never. Let's just not be hopeful. Let's just believe. Let's just go there. Let's not say always and never, because that's not true. Nothing is always or never, right? It's sometimes, and it may happen a lot, but it's not always or never. So let's strike those. Definitely don't use anything that's critical. Here's one. I'm starving, or I'm dying of starvation. If you really believe, which you should, that you can really create your life with your words, why would you say you're starving or dying? You don't want to say those things, right? Strike those words from your vocabulary. You're not dying. I always tell myself, Jesus went 40 days without food. I have a couple days on my body that I can live, that I can utilize and live with here. So let's see, what else? What are some other ones? I will try. We already went over that. I'm too busy. We went over that. It's all my fault. I never should have, or I should have, any of those kind of things. I like to change that to everything is exactly as it should be, and everything always turns out exceedingly better than I can possibly imagine. And I will tell you some other things that I really worked on when I was beginning to change these patterns for myself was saying what I wanted every day and writing it every day, like 5 times in a row. So if I wanted more joy, I'd write, I have an abundance of joy and I have more joy every day. I have abundance of happiness and I'm happier every day. I have an abundance of love and I have more love every day. I have an abundance of fun, abundance of time, an abundance of health, abundance of whatever you want to have in your life. Write it out 5 times in a row every single day. By writing it instead of just saying it over and over again, you're going to use more neurons using your fingers to write. And it's much more than typing. You can't type this. You have to write it out longhand. So you are going to create those new neural highways quicker by writing it than you will by just saying it or typing it. So take the time to change the way you feel by changing the way you talk to yourself, the things you say to yourself. Become conscious of what you're saying, because literally, it's my favorite word apparently, you create your life in the conversation you have about it. So create a new conversation. Love to hear from you guys down below. What's one thing that you've noticed that you say all the time that you'd like to change? And I'm happy to give you some ideas about how to change it, or different things you can say. Thanks for jumping on. Hey everybody. Hey Luann. Thanks for jumping on. See you guys soon.